Talkin' Country.
You're listening to Talkin' Country with Paul Taylor.
Hi, welcome to my channel, Talking Country, where we'll be chatting to the stars of country music from around the world, whether it's in Nashville, Australia, UK, Ireland. You'll get it here first. If you like us, subscribe and give us the big thumbs up. Hopefully you enjoy it.
You took my ring. You took a vow, you took my name in front of the whole dang town, took out a loan at my expense. Then you took a vacation with your ex-boyfriend. Now you're swimming in the ocean off the coast of Costa Rica, eating shrimp, shish kebabs, and drinking frozen margaritas. The house, the boat, the car, the truck, the diamond ring, and the rest of the stuff I've been breaking my back and busting my butt for. It's all yours. It's all yours. It's all yours. It's all yours. You took advantage of my heart. You took the balance to the limit on my platinum MasterCard. It didn't take me too much time to finally open up my eyes and see you took me for a ride. Now you're on my leather sofa, eating chips and double dipping while you're watching pay-per-view on that new big screen television. The house, the boat, the car, the trunk, the diamond ring, and the rest of the stuff I've been breaking my back and busting my butt for. It's all yours. Off the coast of Costa Rica, eating shrimp, shish kebabs, and drinking frozen margaritas. The house, the boat, the car, the truck, the diamond ring, and the rest of the stuff I've been breaking my back and busting my butt for. It's all yours. It's all yours. Yeah, it's all yours.
Well, that was a brand new song by Dave Wilbert called It's Getting There. And Dave's on the line now all the way from America. How you doing, mate?
Doing great. How y'all doing?
Yeah, we're doing well now. Lockdown's easing a little bit over here. You know, each week we just have a fuel panic at the moment. I don't know if it's been on the news over there. It's the shortage of drivers, and everybody's been panic buying on petrol. So places have run out. So you know, we've eased lockdown. We can get out, but now people are going, well, we can't really because we haven't got any fuel to go anywhere. Apart from people with electric cars who are going, ha. But great song, mate. Where are you now? Are you in Nashville?
Yes, sir. I'm out at my place, just a little bit southwest of Nashville. I have I don't know, I guess you'd call it a gentleman's farm out here. So my wife and I and the critters, we're on about 35 acres.
Wow.
Just a little bit southwest of Nashville. Yeah.
I know when you came on, I think it came on the show last time. Was it a turkey shoot after it?
Yeah, I was going to go turkey hunting for sure.
Yeah, I think that was part of the thing that you was doing after we was having a chat, I think. Mm-hmm. But no, I mean you've built up on a good foundation, obviously with Country Cruise, you know, and the songs we were just speaking a little bit off air has a really good relevant 90s vibe about it, the beat, the lyric, and like you said, it could be a George Strait song in there, couldn't it?
It should be. Yeah, I mean, it could have been, right? So, and that's the reason we put it out as a single, is because I thought, is this a song, that if George Strait had sung it, would he put it out? And I think the answer is yes.
Yeah.
So, it's just got a really great melody. It's very comfortable. I don't know if that makes sense to your listeners, but it's very pleasing. The melody is very pleasing. It's not too edgy. It's just a nice um, sonically sounding song with a really nice melody. And I like the messaging in it, the lyrics. It's like I said, it's kind of a courtship song. It's a song about when you first meet somebody and you're just head over heels for that person, and you can't hardly go about your day without thinking of them all the time, and that's what this song's about. So I think that part of country music or music in general has been missing. Everything is so instantaneous in our world with our phones and everything else, instant gratification. But I like the idea, or I love the idea of the romantic person in me. I think there's something to be said for courtship. I know you guys are all about courtship over there.
I won't say everybody. I wouldn't generalize it, but but people are going, I'm not into all that. I'm married for 20 years. I'm just going to try and find this message because, like I said, I do a program on a Sunday morning live, usually with a friend of mine, but he dialed in from being on vacation. And I said, I played your song. And some of the guys were coming in who were very much, they love the 90s so much. Sure. And I'm trying to find this message. Wow, who is this dude? And like I just said to him, get on it. You got to track his tracks down and listen to him. And again, we just spoke a little bit off it. It's your own independent label, isn't it?
It is, yes, sir. So, a long time ago, I had a cup of coffee with some record labels, not big labels here in town, and just the timing wasn't right for whatever reason. Yep. Had a lot of stuff going on personally in my life at that time, and it just didn't work out. But everything works out as it's supposed to. I believe in time, and I had the pleasure of being, I had to kind of refocus some things in my life, and I think we touched on this last time we spoke. Was almost a full-time dad for a while. Yeah. Three youngins, and that was my priority for a long time. And my job was to get them fed and put a roof over their heads and clothes on their and shoes, clothes on their back and shoes on their feet. And then luckily, I met an incredible person, and she came in my life and took a lot of that burden off my, I shouldn't say burden, but took a lot of that responsibility. Kind of, she shared the lion's share of it. And now I've had the opportunity to come back out and make some new music. And, but yeah, it's funny you say the 90s thing, because, that's the music, a lot of it I was, raised up on. I heard I have a lot of influences from that decade, and it's funny when and I'm sure you're you know about Country Radio Seminar, and I'm sure you've been to CRS in Nashville, or at least aware of it. Yeah. I did the virtual. It was the virtual. I was fortunate to actually join it because it was virtual because of lockdown last year. So I joined pretty much for the week into the seminars, but because of the time difference, it was like 1 o'clock in the morning here sometimes, but it was good. Yeah, well, I guess what I'm getting, the thing that came out of it that I thought was interesting was when these radio stations actually poll or solicit their listeners for, what's their favorite type of country music, overwhelmingly it came back 90s style. Yeah. Unfortunately, though, data doesn't seem to resonate so much with the big box labels here in Nashville. They're still kind of trying to cram, pop country and whatever that hip hop country, whatever that stuff is. And I think, to your point though, I think there's a huge demand for that 90s style country. And that's the kind of music that I'm going to write. And that's the kind of music I'm going to record, just because I don't think I could do anything else, because I've been so heavily influenced, by those artists of that decade, And I think it's like a square peg and round hole then, because, and I think, just to mention that since we last spoke, I'm now the official interviewer for the British Country Music Association. So there's parts of this interview as well that we will use as because, like, obviously we have members who are songwriters, who are musicians and producers, and it's to give them advice on, if that square hole, is and the hole and the round hole and the square peg are there, what other opportunities are. And again, I think you've just come up with a cracking, and you and your other colleagues as well, you do your own label.
you know, and you do your own thing, because there is a conveyor belt at the moment. And I've spoke to so many artists this year and last year who are in the similar ilk, where they just didn't fit what was, you know, the big bucks for the record labels, you know, and rather than go give up, you say, well, no, I really need to do my music. I'm going to go this way, you know. And Aaron Watson, Texas,
sure,
I'd saw, and I met him as well, and he was saying that, no, you know, I've had a #1 hit on my own bat because they wouldn't take me in, you know, it didn't conform to that pop culture that they were doing, you know.
Well, and I think the biggest problem with conformity, one is conformity, but second is everything sounds exactly the same that's coming out right now. And I've had a number of program directors like yourself that I've talked to across the states here in the last few months that have shared that with me kind of off the record, that, you know, they're very unhappy with the material, the product that's coming out of Nashville, because they really can't tell one from the other. There's no dynamics, and certainly there's no melody. You know, there's a few things that are missing in current country music. And, you know, but to each their own, though. I'm not here to bash and slam on those. You know, country music should have a really large tent, you know, and there should be room for everybody's styles. It's certainly not one size fits all. That's my point. And, you know, I love having the independence and freedom to decide what I want to do, but also I think you have to have humility, and there are people that are really skilled at what they do and take their opinions into consideration, because I certainly don't claim to know it all or be a know-it-all when it comes to country music. I just, you know, I know what I like, and I know what I can sing well, and I know what when I write.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, you know, I could think it's the best thing since sliced bread, but it might not be any good at all, you know? So you have to kind of be a little bit objective, you know?
I think what's the term? Is it different strokes for different folks, you know? And I think the tent analogy is quite good, because I've always said country music for many decades now is multi-genre. There's different genres within country. You know, you're still telling a tale, but, and again, I've nothing against the modern country, because there are some great songs out there, you know, that and again, it's all about opinion and my opinion. Like, I have a bunch of guys that I socialize with and chat with, and they'll say, oh, such and such an artist, and I'll go, no, what? He's like the biggest artist. That's not my cup of tea, unfortunately, because it's all stuff and nonsense. There's all lights flash, you know, and there's all this kind of you know,
distraction. Yeah,
there's a bit of a distraction. Then when you listen to the clear vocal, you're going, that's been manufactured in the studio kind of thing, you know. But and I'm not going to mention who the artist is. I know Bobby Bones got stuck on some legal wrangles once. I'm not doing that one. But no, I'm with you on that one, mate. Yeah.
Yeah, but anyway, I mean, you know, at the end of the day, I'm just trying to make the best music I can, write the best music I can, and you know, I'm trying to make a career of this thing, you know, and it's a little bit daunting, you know. I'm not, you know, I'm a little longer in the tooth than most people out here doing it. You know, I'm not a youngster. I'm not in my 20s, but I will say that I think the nice thing is being older now and having lived. One, it gives you a lot more material to write with, and I think there's some. In the delivery, even if I didn't write the song, but even in the delivery, I feel like a lot of the songs, maybe I didn't write them, but I've lived them, and therefore the interpretation is honest, you know. And that's all I hope to do is just, you know, play and write music that moves people emotionally, and I don't care if it's on you know, I know it's not going to be on a big Sony or an RCA or a big box label. I mean, I'm not naive enough to think that, but I don't think you have to do those things anymore to have a really solid career, you know. I just want to go play music where people want to hear me sing and play, you know.
Well, that's it. The fan base as well. Yeah, the fan base will tell you as well. I mean, you're getting out to do many sorts of gigs at the moment.
You know, we've had a good run of gigs here in the last little bit. I don't have any, you know, ironically, as you say that, I got picked to go tonight. I'm going down to Nashville. So I know your listeners are aware of what happened in Afghanistan with our 13 fallen servicemen and women. Yeah. You know, the tragedy that happened there in August. So General Flynn, General Michael Flynn, who is could be considered controversial. I don't consider him that, but he was a Trump administration guy, and then I think he kind of got thrown into the slammer by the FBI for something, but I think he was eventually pardoned. I'm not up on all my politics, but that all being said, he is going basically to all the 13 families and doing fundraisers for the Gold Star families, which is admirable regardless of politics.
Yeah.
So as fate would have it, he's coming through Nashville this evening, and I'm one of 3 artists, singers, songwriters, whatever, that's going to be playing tonight for that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so people can, if you guys go to, it'll be a Facebook Live event. Of course, it's Central Time in the United States. It's 6 to 9 Nashville.
Yeah. So that's midnight. That'll be midnight here till 3 in the morning, something like that.
Yeah. Well, if people follow me on like Facebook, it's Dave Wilbert Music. That's on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, Dave Wilbert Music. There'll be a link on those sites, I hope, where people can go. I know there'll be one on Facebook for sure and Instagram. I'm not sure about the other. So,
and again, there'll be a recording on that, won't there, on the link? Although it'll be live.
I think so.
Yeah,
I think so.
Yeah, because the show will be going out tomorrow night on Cat Country, and Thursday night on Move Radio, and then we'll be putting this on the YouTube channel with the BCMA as well. But yeah, normally when there's a recording, there's always a
I would think so. There'll be something we can refresh it and send it back out.
I'll be watching it. No, and good luck with that as well. That's such an honor.
Yeah, it is.
I bet you're buzzing, aren't you?
What's that?
I bet you're buzzing.
Yeah, a little bit. It's a busy day today. So my father had to have surgery this morning at Vanderbilt. So I'm trying to get down there to see him. I was just he's a little older now. He'll actually be 84 tomorrow.
Wow.
Well, he had a procedure done today, so I'm trying to get down there to see him, and then I got to get back here and just rehearse a little bit, make sure that I'm on my P's and Q's for tonight, because it is such an honor. I want to give it the due diligence that it deserves.
Oh, that's such an honor, though. I mean, how long's the set going to be? Is it going to be 5 songs?
I'm going to have so there's 3 of us. I think there's going to be some. There may be some options or I don't know. I don't know the whole. I don't know all the what the schedule. I know I have a half an hour, and the other artists have a half an hour as well. So there's an hour and a half of music, and there's probably an hour and a half of maybe some auctioning or something. I don't know to drive donations.
Is it outside or is it in a venue?
It's in a venue. You know John Rich from Big and Rich.
Yes.
So he has a bar, and I don't know if it's a restaurant, but it's called the Redneck Riviera. It's down on Broadway. I know he has live events down there, live music all the time. Of course, he's become really popular, kind of a political pundit now. He has a lot of influence on, he's on Fox News, and I know he has a show on Fox Nation or something. I haven't seen it, but I know that he's gotten more involved. He does a lot of philanthropy for the veterans, which I have a high level of respect for. So I'm like I said, I'm honored to be part of it tonight.
I like that song that he did with Big and Rich, because it was sort of trying to save animals. It save a horse, ride a cowboy. So he must have saved a lot of horses, because I'm always playing it on my show. But I was a big fan when he was with Lone Star as well back in the day.
Yeah. Way back.
Covered quite a bit of their music on my shows as well, to be fair. But no, that's great. So during lockdown, I would imagine you've wrote a lot of songs and ready to get.
I haven't written. I've got lots of starts to lots of songs, but I did write one. I did actually the fellow that wrote this single. It's getting there. Jason Matthews. He and I wrote a whopper a few months back. So actually writing with him tomorrow. But I wrote one it's I don't know if it'll ever be played on the radio. It's edgier than my stuff currently. My stuff's kind of and it's meant to be, because I'm fine. I'm kind of I'm half full type guy. I'm overly optimistic probably. And I don't like to be unhappy, and so I don't really sing. I try not to sing kind of, or write unhappy things this isn't unhappy. It's just my observation of the world. Jason and we wrote it, and it's something I'm going to put out probably on social media. I don't know if it'll get out on, because like I said, it may be too edgy for radio.
Send it over, and I'll definitely play it.
Well, it's kind of red meat for some people, for sure. I mean, it talks about a lot of things. I mean, we cover the gambit from, without giving it away. We cover a lot of things from people being paid not to work here in the United States. Maybe losing sight of, people being a little bit too sensitive. Yeah, so there's a lot of that. It's kind of a red meat. Funny story. I played it on the radio station because I was there. I was doing a radio tour, and I had a show that night or the night after, or day after, whatever. And the DJ's like, or the radio programmer's like, man, play it. Just play it when we come back from break. So I played it when we came back from break, and later on that day or that evening on my TikTok feed, a listener that was driving around the road, driving somewhere, heard it and was just passionate about it. It's like, you got to put it out. You got to put it out. So it's called The World's Gone Crazy.
And it certainly has. I mean,
appropriately, right?
You should have, honestly, in the UK, they put this thing in about the fuel, and I had to get some fuel because I was doing a gig myself, but it was like about over 200 miles away. Mm-hmm. And I thought I need some fuel, so sorts of $40. That was the most you could get. They rationed everybody. And I thought, I'll get down there, that's fine. But then I managed to get some to come back, but it's just been chaos. People are running out of fuel because people are panicking. They're actually turning up with a big container and filling it, and it's just crazy. And I thought to myself, please God, let me get home. But yeah, 3 o'clock in the morning, I managed to get home. It was crazy. But
it's
that's
unbelievable.
What it is. The world's gone mad.
Yeah, it's these are third world issues. Running out of fuel and basic necessities. You wouldn't think Europe or the United States. Now, we haven't had any fuel shortages. We did have a little bit. When we had one of our larger refineries, I think, was hacked a few months back. So
yeah.
There was a supply issue, momentarily, but, we've just got some pretty, we've got some people that are in control of basic necessities that don't seem to have a real grip on reality. You know what I mean? So,
our roadwork network. Yeah. Our interstates, as you would call them, our motorways. They've started to shut them to do repairs on like a Saturday on a peak time. And I was going to myself, during lockdown for 18 months, there's been nothing on the road. Why didn't you do it then? Instead of like peak time, people coming on a holiday or coming back from holiday. And it was chaos, absolute chaos. And I'm scratching my head going, why was this not done in lockdown? It's stupid. I think, the lunatics are taking over the asylum, I think they said.
It's bad, man. It's, hopefully there's some, hopefully there'll be some reality will reset, if you will. I don't know.
Yeah, I think so. But before we finish, and again, congrats on the song. It's an amazing song. I look forward to more from you as well. So just to finish off, top 5 tips as you can of advice, things that you've come across, good or bad, indifferent, if they're bad, how did you turn that round, kind of thing, for budding musicians over in the UK as well? What would you think?
First, and I did not do this. So this is as a young artist, I would not sign anything with anybody. I wouldn't sign a management deal, a publishing deal, any of those type of things that could prevent you from really that could hold you back in your career, you know, in your trajectory, because you're bound legally to someone that's incompetent, and that happens all the time, you know. So I would be real wary of that. Secondly, if someone is legitimately interested in you, a record label, manager, producer, publisher, whatever, they'll put their money in, not your money in.
Yes.
They'll put their money in. You bring the talent, they bring the money. You know what I mean? That's how that works. So, you know, don't spend your money and your talent and treasures so that someone can leech off of you. Boy, 5. You got me. 5's a big number.
well, let's do it. Let's do it like the dollar to the English pound. Then say 4. Then
I like that. So we said, don't sign anything. Don't spend your money. What's another one? You know, write and record great songs. You know, only record great things. You got to be really hard on yourself. You know, I've written a bunch of great campfire songs in my life, but they're not more than that. You know, as much as I'd like for them to be, you know, worldwide hits and all that good stuff, realize it's, you know, not everything you write is the best thing since sliced bread. Probably isn't. You may get lucky and write 1 or 2 whoppers in your life and be thankful for it. So I think you really got to be critical on, you know, because I think that there is a right now, I would say not the songwriters, because they have to write what the labels will record. There's a tremendous amount of great songs out there that aren't getting the light of day, aren't being heard because the record labels and managers, they have consultants in their ear saying people want to hear this monotone hip hop country, so that's all they're writing. So what I'm saying is, I think you got to stand true to who you are and only record songs that you feel are great songs that have something to say, you know. And then lastly, I would say, be willing to listen to your peers and others, you know, that have your best interest in heart. You know, I've learned over the year, that one thing I do know is that I don't know everything, and I try to have people in my small circle that are honest and, you know, and that are willing to say, hey, you know, that's no good, or that, you know, that's not, you didn't, you know, that song doesn't fit you, you know, because as a singer, you think you can sing everything, but you can't. There's just some songs, for whatever reason, you know, they just weren't meant for you. So yeah. I think being willing to listen and take everything with a grain of salt, that's what I would say.
I mean, with the songs it's quite interesting what you said there, and thank you so much for that. You know, write great songs. I mean, the songs that you write, do you take them out on the road first and just see what the audience reaction is, and then get a flavor of that?
You know, I have, you know, like the one I was just talking to earlier about. You know, I've played it in a few different states, different crowds, you know, primarily the same demographic. I mean, I know where my demographic is going to be pretty much. And yeah, for sure. I mean, you want to play something out there and get feedback, you know. I think that's certainly, I mean, if you can do songwriter nights, or, you know, we call them in the round here, where you have 3 or 4 songwriters and everyone just kind of goes round and round and plays a song or two. I think any of that's good. But at the end of the day, it's up to the listener. You know, music is subjective, so what you like, I may not like, or vice versa. And it's supposed to be that way. It's not one size fits all. You know, we touched on that at the beginning of this conversation. Music is subjective, you know, and different strokes for different folks, just like we said, you know.
Well, on the few CDs that I ever recorded, the very first one I did probably about 20 years ago now, it was all covers. I mean, I'm a huge Garth Brooks fan, but I didn't actually cover this song, but I pinched the title and it summed me up perfectly, was Against the Grain.
Sure.
You know, and I've done that even if, like, back in the day when I was into my rock music, all my friends liked sort of soul, and I've nothing against that, but I was into my rock, but 90% of my friends that was what they were doing. But I was like, no, I'm into my rock and progressing to country. And I think you've got to be true to yourself. And I think that's, you know, and actually kind of come over faults, I think. And that's that. I'm exactly like you. You know, there've been songs I've covered in the circuit that I'm on over here, and you come off stage and you think, ooh, and your family and friends would look at you going, really? And you're thinking, I'm dropping that, I'm dropping that one. And that's happened throughout your career, but you've got to take it with a pinch of salt.
Well, and when I go out and play, I have to do a fair amount of covers because, my repertoire, I don't know if that's the right word.
Yeah.
Isn't robust enough to do, an hour show of all material. I could do all that stuff, but no one would have heard it. And I don't, you have to have a blend of, I do a blend of our stuff, my stuff, and then also, my heroes, my influences, as kind of a way. Obviously, it is a way to fill the time, but it's also partly, it's always a tribute, to those. Well, now sometimes, I've done shows where I had to learn music that I would never play, and I haven't since. It was a hired gun type situation. They brought me in to be a front man. I played and did the deal, and left those songs in the rearview mirror and have never picked them up or tried to play them again.
And there's a song right there that you can write.
Yeah,
the song's in the rearview mirror. I love that one. Yeah, I mean that was quite interesting, really, what you were saying, that you've just got to, like I say, ultimately you've just got to be true to yourself. But here's the last question I'm going to ask you then, and then obviously you've got a busy day, and like I say, God bless your father as well. Hopefully he recovers great, and happy birthday for him tomorrow. Just said the UK say go sir. Is your favorite song of all time, or one that you've actually covered and you will always cover?
My favorite song of all time is "A Country Boy Can't Survive" by Hank Williams Jr. I don't do it, one, because you have to do a drop D tuning, and it's hard to do it in the middle of a show.
It is, yeah.
The guitar already tuned up for it, so there's always that, and then the band has to change guitars out or tune down or whatever. So that's my favorite song of all time. A song that I always do. There's not very many times where I don't do Working Man Blues, but and I have my own little unique little spin on it. I do a mashup of Haggard and Elvis.
Wow.
I do that about I can't think of a show, and I always do Dwight Yoakam. I'm always Dwight. To me, we talk about going against the grain. I think of he epitomizes that so much. You have everyone doing this hip hop country stuff, bro country, whatever they want to call it. He couldn't do it if he wanted to. You know what I mean? It's like it would be so antithetical to who he is. But it's funny when you see people going down the stream, all falling in, all in line like nice little puppets. Dwight is going the other way.
Yes.
and critically acclaimed stuff. He doesn't, of course, he has a massive following and a huge fan base, and he's earned that over all the years of playing and touring, but I don't think he cares. I think it's like, I'm going to write and record, and he does a lot of great covers. I mean, he's covered some.
Buck Owens. I mean, Streets of Bakersfield. I covered that quite a bit, to be honest. And he's covered the Grateful Dead, Cheap Trick. Yes.
I mean, just all kinds of out of the mainstream, and he puts his taste on it. I mean, he covered Prince's Purple Rain, and you'd swear that he wrote it. I mean, that's how good it is.
It's so funny, really, because a couple of years ago now, the Country to Country event that we have, which is like, I wouldn't say watered down version because it's dishonoring it, really, but it's the CMA kind of structure to it.
Yeah.
And this particular, every year they have like a legend spot, which is probably about the second artist in on like the main night, and Dwight was on. And he just knocks it into the ballpark. He just bang, He had a bit of a strop on him because his guitar, with the guitar people, like he threw his guitar down and stuff. But he had the tight jeans, giving it all, it just absolutely knocked it into and everybody was on their feet. And Reba McEntire did the same thing. Everybody just loved all that. And to be honest with you, when there's some of the sort of hip hoppy country ones come in, I won't mention them. Quite a few of us just went to the bar because they have this bad knack. Yeah.
So the funny thing is, I just got hired to go do a big show. I got brought out by a big station in West Virginia. It was the home opener of a college football team in West Virginia called Marshall University. It was a big deal. And the thing is, what I noticed is when my band and when we go out and play, we go out and play. To your point, these older artists, man, they can really, really get it done on stage. And it's not about distraction. It's not about whatever nonsense that's going on to fill time. It's about music.
Yeah.
It's about music. And when we get done, every time we get done, it's always the same reaction. It's like people are just like, holy crap, because my players are great. They make my job easy, but for real. So I'm not surprised, that I'm not surprised. The best musician, best music. I think I may have told you this last time. The best show I've ever seen in my whole life was Bob Seger. Mm-hmm. He was 72 or 74 years old, and it was the most incredible thing. Because it was legit. That those guys are playing the instruments. They're not. This isn't some sort of techno thing. And it was just the passion came through, and that's what people. If we ever get a chance to come over, which I hope we do.
Yes.
Man, we will not. We'll blow the Queen's skirt up.
Well, we have got so many outlets over here now, and so many links in with, like we said, the British Country Music Association. We want more and more of you coming over here, and one of the last song I wrote, I think I mentioned it before. It was called "She's Got Champagne Taste, but I've Got Lemonade Money." But I've got a honky tonk vibe going through it. So I sent it to Kent Blaze, who wrote If Tomorrow Never Comes and all that, because we became good friends. I said, listen, I'm not after a record deal. I just want to say, am I on the right tracks with the structure? And he come back, he said, wow, he said, Dwight Yoakam would be all over that. He said that to me, which is a compliment in itself. And I thought, I'll have that all day long. I don't want to sell anything. I just thought it's just cool. But no, it's really great to catch up with you again, mate. And as I said, hopefully you get over here. And like I said,
what we're trying to do, this next single we think is going to go leaps and bounds further than the first one. For example, our streams on Apple have already in 4.5 weeks have equaled what we did on the first single for 9 months. Wow. So I think we're getting to get a little more popularity. People, again, it's Dave Wilbert Music, and that's the same thing on Spotify and Apple and Pandora and Facebook and Instagram, Twitter and TikTok, all those things. We're not very creative. And YouTube, it's all the same, Dave Wilbert Music. But I think we're starting to get a little bit of traction, and I really think this next song is going to propel us even further. Hopefully, what I'm challenged with right now more than anything is our gigs. I want shows to go out and play. That's why we do it.
Yeah,
that's music, or at least I do. That's the fun part. That's the easy part and the fun part. Getting on stage and playing and singing and having a ball. That's the fun part. It's all the stuff behind the scenes that drives you crazy. But so I'm hoping, by the time this single is done, which will be, probably come off of it in December, or not December, but January of 2022. Hopefully by then I'll have a booking agency in hand. That's what I'm hoping for Christmas is a good booking agency that can get me over there.
Well, that's it. Like I said, with the BCMA links now, we if anything we could help you with, then just reach out.
I'm in.
We'll definitely accommodate you, because we've got quite a few festivals next year with links in with that, etc.
Yeah. So if there's ever anything you think that would be a good fit, by all means, send them over. If we could make it work logistically and financially, we'd be in for sure.
Great. So, what we'll do, just a little bit off if we exchange emails and then we'll go direct. I know, obviously I don't want to cut out the PR people who were kind enough to Bevan, the guys, to link us in, but generally just as a normal chat.
They don't really have much to do with Bev doesn't have anything to do with my gigs. That's not her. That's
no.
The wheelhouse.
it's getting you to do things like this. But yeah, no, that's fine. We'll exchange emails. But
Sure.
like I said, have a great day. Good luck tonight, and I say good luck to your dad as well.
Thank you so much, Paul.
And hopefully I'll try and stream around about midnight. I think it'll probably be about up here. But the new James Bond film's out, and over here, midnight on Wednesday it comes out. And my youngest daughter said, "Do you want to go, Dad?" I went, "Hell yeah!" So we're going like at midnight.
Good on you.
With the tux and the dicky bow, you know.
Good.
No, I wouldn't be doing that, no. Because I keep saying to, like, you know, my kids, if they annoy me, I said, "Do you know I've got an ejector button in my car?" You know, just but thanks very much, Dave. Like I said, good luck with everything, and it's been a pleasure
Thanks, Paul.
speaking to you again, my friend. You take care.
God bless you. God bless the UK.